Hey gang, Jon Lays here, your Admiral, and I wanted to give you Friday's motivational video. Yes, I realize it's not Friday. I apologize about that. I generally try to do one of these like little motivational video things on Friday, and Friday was bad. It didn't happen. I was really crazy busy Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and then when he got home Friday evening, new WandaVision was on. So it just didn't happen. I apologize about that. And then the weekend, there was a lot of family time and thing going on, and so, I apologize. I'm slacking. So here's last Friday's motivational video today on Monday. And I want to talk to you about a concept today I think you'll find enlightening or at least interesting. And it's the idea of entrepreneurship and why somebody goes into entrepreneurship. Why you do it? What's the purpose behind it? I don't really talk a whole lot about entrepreneurship for the most part, but I think it's a really interesting topic. Because at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't really punch a time clock. I don't really work for a company. I sell insurance in my day job, and I basically am an independent contractor. I sell products for an insurance company, but I'm not an employee of the company. I work for myself. And so when I'm out marketing and talking to people about, needing insurance, I don't really talk to them about the company much. If they've got questions about the company, I'm happy to answer them. But for the most part, I'm talking to them about me. I'm talking to them about me as an agent, what I can do for them. I'm talking about how I can service their needs, how I can make sure that their insurance is the right kind of insurance, about how I can make sure that their premiums fall in their budget and make sure that they're not overpaying. And all these services that I provide as the agent. And so at the end of the day, much more than the company I work for, I'm talking about what I as an agent can do for the customer. And so at the end of the day, I'm branding Jon Lays. I'm branding Jon Lays as an insurance agent and what Jon Lays can do for you as an insurance agent. And the company is kind of an afterthought, really. So that's an idea of what being an entrepreneur is kind of all about, is that you really are selling yourself more than the product or service that you're offering. Now, a lot of people don't really want to do that kind of thing. A lot of people are very content to work for a company, and there's nothing wrong with that. People have been working for companies for decades, for centuries even. There's a company that needs employees. You go to work for that company, and for the longest time, man, that was one of the best ways to go. In the 50s and 60s, you get a high school education, come out and you find a good factory job or a good manual labor job of some kind. And if you work hard, you can maybe even move up in the company and get to be a supervisor or something like that. And you can work for that company for 20, 30 years and you can retire and you might have a pension, you might have a 401k, and life was pretty decent. It was the American dream. You could own a house, you could own a couple cars, you could maybe send your kid to college on a single family income. And that was the way things went for years and years and years. But then things transitioned, things changed. We moved up into the 80s and 90s, and suddenly we're not a production economy anymore. We're not a manufacturing economy. Now we're an information technology economy. We're an IT economy. We're a services economy. It's all about internet. It's all about banking. It's all about financial services. It's all about information. It's all about all these things, right? And so suddenly a high school education and a good job's not quite as secure as it used to be. Now you got to have a college education, and you got to have experience, and you got to know people, and it's a little different thing. So a lot of people choose to be an entrepreneur because the old formula of being a worker and punching that clock is not as appealing as it once was. And there have been entrepreneurs forever. I mean, Thomas Edison, entrepreneur, Henry Ford, entrepreneur. All these people started companies and did amazing things. But you don't have to create a worldwide brand to be an entrepreneur. I mean, if you're running a paper route, if you've got a yard mowing service, whatever, you're an entrepreneur. But if you do really well at what you're doing, then you can turn it into a big company. You can turn it into a really successful thing. And those reasons are possible. So the question then becomes, why do it? What is it about being an entrepreneur that's better than being a 9-to-5? Why should you run your own Airbnb? Why should you be an Uber driver? Why should you be a freelance coder? So many ways to be an entrepreneur in this new world economy that we have, right? And so there's a number of reasons why that you would be an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs have a basic need. People who are entrepreneurs, almost like they're born that way. They have needs, right? They have a basic need that drives them to be an entrepreneur. And those needs kind of flow in a hierarchy. Now, those of you that have gone to school very much understand hierarchy of needs. You studied Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you may remember the diagram, the pyramid shape, right? And so on the very basic level of Maslow's hierarchy of human needs was physical needs: food, air, water, sleep, reproduction, all that stuff. Basically the stuff that keeps us functioning and alive and perpetuating as a species. Those are physical needs. Those are your most basic needs. Without those, nothing else matters because you'll die. But then above those, there are other needs. There's safety needs, there's love and belonging, there's esteem, and self-actualization at the peak, which is really, really interesting because self-actualization means that you're becoming the best version of you that you can be, which is kind of what we're all about here at JonLays.com, making you better, stronger, faster today than you were yesterday, and even more so tomorrow. So self-actualization is really what we're all about here. But for the entrepreneur, they have their own kind of hierarchy of needs, things that function for them and work for them that is different than everybody else, right? And so it's important that you kind of understand what that is, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur or feel like that yearning to go out into that, right? And so you have to understand that an entrepreneur has the following need structure, okay? At the very basic level of being an entrepreneur, there's money income needs, because if you can't make money and income as an entrepreneur, there's absolutely no other reason to fool with it. Doesn't matter what other reason. You could win awards, you could do all this stuff. But if you can't make money, you're standing in the poor line, you're standing in the welfare line, you're standing in the soup kitchen. You know, there's no way, you can't live like that. So the very basic entrepreneurial need that every entrepreneur has is income needs, right? That business that you go into, whatever it may be, that tree trimming business, that, whatever, home care business, the sky's the limit on what you can do with this stuff. Whatever business you go to, if it doesn't pay the bills, you can't do it. Then you got to go get a job at the Quick Mart, the 7-Eleven, at the Walmart, wherever, right? Because you got to put food on the table. So that's the very basic entrepreneurial need, is income, okay? But once you've got that down, once you have got some income coming in, once you can meet your needs and pay the bills, then an entrepreneur has needs on top of that. Because if you're in the entrepreneurial game, one of the things you need is success and accomplishment. You need to know there's this just basic human drive in an entrepreneur that he needs to know that not only has he able to work in this business, but that he's able to make it successful, that he's able to turn it into something, that it takes on its own life, so to speak, that it becomes something that maybe later down the road he can actually step away from and it continues to function. That now at one point you were working strictly for yourself, maybe 10 years down the road you've got a handful of employees. Maybe now you've got an entire company. Maybe you've got payroll. Maybe you've got all this stuff. And then 20 years down the road, this thing is big enough that if you wanted to step back and just kind of be an owner but not a manager, then the thing would run itself. That kind of success, that kind of accomplishment, that idea of knowing that you're affecting other people's lives and that they're supporting on you and they need you, and then it's turned into something bigger. And then you've got all the accolades that go along with it, then that's important to entrepreneurs. Because at this level, not only are you meeting your needs, not only are you putting food on the table, but now you're doing a little better, right? And you've got extra money. You've got money for nicer houses, for better cars, for vacations, for better clothes. And you feel like you're really, really winning in life, okay? So all entrepreneurs want that and need that. Above that, the higher level of basic entrepreneurial need is freedom and independence. Everybody that's an entrepreneur craves freedom and independence. You do not want to exist on the whims of a boss or a manager or some company. You do not want to be told what to do. You do not want to be instructed on anything. You do not want somebody looking over your shoulder, breathing down your neck. You don't want any of that. You want to do what you want to do. You want to come to work when you want to come to work. You want to leave when you want to leave. You want to work on these days, but not these days. You want to you want to push this product, but not this product. You want to do this service, but not this service. You want to do what you want to do. And when you're an entrepreneur, man, you set the rules. You are the boss. You can do whatever you like. Now, that doesn't mean it's always smart. If you push the wrong product, you might hurt your business. If you only work so many days a week, you might hurt your business. So you got to be smart about it, but you have the freedom to do what you want to. You are setting your own course. You're charting your own destiny, and nobody can tell you how to handle your business. That entrepreneurs crave that. They need that. And that's the second to highest level of entrepreneurial need. But at the pinnacle of entrepreneurial need is purpose and mission, because all entrepreneurs kind of feel like they're a superhero. They feel like they're saving the day, that they're serving some grand purpose. Now, some entrepreneurs are not like that. I mean, I don't want to paint with a broad brush here and say that all entrepreneurs are the same. They're not. Some entrepreneurs they're just purely greedy and they just want money. Some entrepreneurs are like that. But the really diehard entrepreneurs, the guys like Henry Ford, the guys like Elon Musk, the guys like Jeff Bezos, and guys like these guys all feel like they have a sense of purpose and destiny. They feel like they are on the earth to do something, to accomplish something. Elon Musk is a great example of this. He's probably the best example of this modern entrepreneurial spirit that I can think of. And he really is a good case study. And if you want to read up on an interesting person, you need to read up on Elon Musk. His whole life has been fascinating. How he started PayPal, how he went on to found Tesla and SpaceX, and he's just a guy with a grand vision. And I kind of think Elon Musk, not to fan out too much, but he's almost like the modern day Tony Stark. If there was a real world version of Tony Stark, I think it's Elon Musk. The guy is fantastic, and I really, really like his approach to things and the way he does things. But he's a guy that has this highest possible need, is this sense of purpose and destiny, because he feels like he's here on the earth to do something important. And at some point, entrepreneurs feel like that all across the board. Almost all again, not everybody. There's some people that are just greedy and just making money, but a lot of entrepreneurs really, really feel like that's important. That is the highest mental need that an entrepreneur had, is the idea that they're changing the world, that they're affecting their community, that they've made the world a better place, that when they're gone one of these days, the world will have been better for them having been here. And that is the highest possible thing that they can achieve. There's a lot of rewards to being an entrepreneur. And there's a lot of risk involved with it, because there's no guarantee that your entrepreneurial endeavor will succeed. Absolutely no guarantee. It's much safer to work at Walmart. It's much safer to work at Target or Costco. It's much safer to find you a factory job, to work for Toyota or GM. Much, much safer, because those companies probably will be there. And if you do your job well, you'll probably be able to work there as long as you want to. But, and that's not to say that all companies don't go through some downsizing and stuff, they do. But entrepreneurship is much, much more risky. There's no guarantee that that thing will be there for you later on, other than your own ability to hard work and muscle it out and make it go, right? Your sense of dedication and your market timing and your strategy, that it's all hangs in by a thread. And it's risky because, like I said, a lot of big name entrepreneurs, a lot of millionaires, failed multiple times and went bankrupt. I mean, I think Sam Walton, I have to double check this, but I think Sam Walton, who created Walmart, I think he went bankrupt 2 or 3 times before Walmart finally took off and became the powerhouse, retailer that it is. So there's no guarantee. It's a risky thing, but you can do it. You can, if you're dedicated to it, if you have a lot of drive, you have a lot of energy, a lot of purpose in life, you can be an entrepreneur, and you can make tons of money if you're good at it. There's a lot of reasons to do it. But that hierarchy of needs that all entrepreneurs feel, the very basic need of money, then there's that need for success and accomplishment, then that higher need of freedom and independence, and the most high possible need they have is purpose and mission. And you understand a little bit about the mindset of the entrepreneur and what drives him. So I hope that helps you. And if you feel some of those urges, then I encourage you to check out some books on entrepreneurship, read up on it, see if you want to be an entrepreneur. And I think if you do, the world may be a better place for you having gone into whatever business that you want to create. Okay? So that's it for this time. Until next time. And in the meantime, my name is John. I hope this video made you feel better, stronger, and faster than you did before you watched it. You guys have a good day. We'll talk to you later.